Assalamualaikum and a very good day to my respected lecturer and fellow viewers. My name is Nur Aina binti Haris and today I will be presenting a critical article review for my talent acquisition course HRM552. The article I have chosen is a highly contemporary piece published in 2025 by Asuman Bateo titled The Key Economic Implications for Workforce Management, featured in the Research Invention Journal of Current Issues in Arts and Management. To kick off our discussion, let's look at the big picture. In this modern business era, the concept of a standard 9 to 5 desk job is no longer the default reality for the global workforce. Driven by rapid digital transformation, we are witnessing the rapid rise of the gig economy. This model is characterized by short-term, highly agile, and digitally mediated work contracts. Bateo's research explores the profound shifts this creates for HR professionals, specifically focusing on how organizations can effectively attract, manage, and integrate freelance talent into traditional corporate structures. Let's dive deeper into the core components of this study. First, let us examine the primary features driving this phenomenon. According to the author, the biggest magnet pulling talent into the gig economy is the unparalleled flexibility, and autonomy it offers. Unlike traditional working structures, gig work empowers individuals to operate on their own authority rather than being confined to the rigid mandates of a single employer. This is particularly true for millennials and Generation Z. The research highlights that younger generation actively view freelance work as a desirable alternative that supports major life changes, whether that means traveling, pursuing education, or managing personal family needs without asking for traditional leave. Furthermore, it isn't just for full-time freelancers. The article points out that individuals with existing permanent employment are increasingly taking on secondary gigs to supplement their income, expand their professional portfolios, and aggressively grow their industry networks. For HR managers, this means the pool of available talent is no longer static. It is fluid, highly connected, and self driven. Now, let's focus on the employer's perspective. What does the gig economy bring to corporate organizations? The author notes that smart sourcing from an external freelance pool gives a company what we call strategic agility. In today's market, business demands fluctuate rapidly. By utilizing gig talent, an organization can scale its human resources up or down almost instantly without taking on the heavy financial burdens associated with regular employees. The example of financial burdens are monthly allowances, medical benefits, or long term pensions. In a situation when final customer demand drops, this allows firms to bring in specialized expertise for just a specific project, utilize their skills immediately, and conclude the contract seamlessly. On paper, this alternative clearly minimizes fixed cost risk and makes the organization totally lean and adaptable. However, as talent acquisition students, we must look at this critically. The author rightly argues that the gig economy is a dual-edged sword. Let us examine the challenges, starting with legal ambiguity. In many jurisdictions worldwide, the employment status of a gig worker is highly unclear. Because they sit outside traditional labor classifications, they are often excluded from standard employment protections, minimum wage laws, and insurance frameworks. This creates an ethical dilemma and leads to severe workforce instability, as these workers can disengage at moment's notice due to a lack of mutual commitment. The second major challenge is hidden operational costs. While companies save money on direct long term salaries, the article reveals that the administrative, compliance, and coordination costs of managing a fragmented workforce are often significantly higher. Managing 30 freelancers who charge for their time in tiny slivers requires immense HR oversight. This is making the total actual cost of employing labor highly unpredictable and financially risky. So, how do we as future HR practitioners bridge this gap? Bateo 2025 outlines several actionable strategies. First, organizations must invest heavily in advanced HR technology systems and talent analytics. We can no longer rely on manual spreadsheets to track external talent. We need platforms that use leading indicators to predict our workforce needs and screen incoming freelance capability efficiently. Second, we must fundamentally redesign our performance management frameworks. Freelancers cannot be managed via annual performance reviews. Instead, HR needs to establish rapid, continuous feedback models that align the short term outputs of gig workers with the long term strategic goals of the company. Most importantly, the author emphasizes building an inclusive corporate culture. Even though gig workers are temporary, they must feel valued and integrated into the organizational workflow rather than being treated as isolated transactional outsiders. Reflecting on this paper, I completely agree with the author's conclusions. The future of talent acquisition does not lie in fighting the gig economy, but in mastering it. If we look at our local Malaysian context, this issue hits incredibly close to home. We are seeing a wave of local university graduates opting out of corporate employment to enter the digital freelance economy as content creators, independent consultants, and platform workers. As future HR leaders in Malaysia, our challenge will be balancing corporate objectives with social responsibility. We must leverage the agility of this diverse talent pool while actively working to ensure they are operationally integrated and ethnically protected. Ultimately, true workforce optimization lies in creating a balanced, mutually beneficial ecosystem where both the organization and the modern agile worker can thrive together. Thank you very much for your time and do feel free to ask me related questions.